Hi there, Tracy here with another scrapbooking process video using the All I Want for Christmas Is You kit from the Scraptastic Kit Club for December. And if you saw my last video, I just showed that layout for very quickly there. And in that layout, I wanted to use this as my background paper, but it ended up being way too distracting for the photo that I was using. So I used the flip side of it. I do happen to have two pieces of this paper. So now, right immediately after I finished the first layout, I'm going to scrapbook a second layout. And I was able to do this morning because the first layout took me only 50 minutes to complete, and my goal was to do it within an hour. And so I did it in less than an hour, so I still had time left in my morning, so I went ahead and scrapbooked this second picture, which I thought would do better on this background. So here I am. I'm actually looking up the date of this photo, and it took me a little while to do it because I was looking in the wrong place. Anyhow, my layouts tend to take quite a bit longer than an hour. Usually they take about 2 hours, sometimes even longer. But because the first layout that I did had such... It wasn't all that intricate. It had a lot of embellishments on it, but it came together super fast. So that's why I decided to do a second layout in the time that I had. And this layout ended up taking even less time. This one was only 45 minutes. So these are both of these two videos that you'll see on my channel, one right after another. This one called Ugly Sweater and Ugly Sweater Party, and the one before it, which was called Tapas, are examples of really basic, simple layouts that you can do pretty quickly. And so the kit, the Scraptastic kit, came with these. It didn't come with, but one of the add-ons that you can get for your kit is this stamp set. And this month there was an alphabet stamp set that I thought looked really pretty and I'm just testing it out on a scrap piece. I want to check and see how nicely the pigment ink dries on, because the paper's a little bit glossy. And I also wanted to see if I would like it and if it would show up properly on the paper. And so I did like it, and so I went ahead and stamped it on the number 5 because when I was gone for all that time, what I was doing was looking up the date, and it turned out that the date of the party was December 5th. So this is my little date card. It's actually a ginormous date card. And now I need to find some papers to layer with this photo. I'm going to go ahead and mat it in this bold red pattern paper that's exclusive to the kit. It's a Scraptastic paper. And I really like what that does to add a bit of boldness around the outside of the photo, especially where we're so dark, the tree is really brightly lit behind us, and just the way that the photo was taken with the exposure and so on. We end up looking really dark. So I want to balance out the darkness in the photo by putting that that darker red color around the outside of it. Then I felt like the photo needed a little bit of breathing space, so I put a fairly wide second frame or mat around the outside of this photo, and I used a really pale wood grain. It's from 7 Papers, and it also came in the kit. Everything in this layout came in the kit. I'm going ahead and outlining on the photo as well, and that just gives a little bit more boldness. Again, I'm trying to increase the contrast around the outside of this photo because the inside of the photo has such high contrast. And I'm just picking some embellishments from the Fancy Pants Wish Season die cuts that came in the kit. And I picked out that Merry, Merry, Merry speech bubble. I thought it was, a photo of us at a party is a great opportunity to use a speech bubble. I don't use a whole lot of speech bubbles in my scrapbooking layouts, but I thought that this was a good chance to use one. And I'm just picking out anything that's sort of festive and about parties. This frame says group photo, and so I just measured the size of it and went ahead and printed out a group photo from the same night. I just went back to my computer and printed this one, and I printed it at 1.5 by 1.5 in a square, with the idea that because we're of the way that our heads are staggered in it, and I knew that we'd have to cover up little bits of us, but that's okay because it's just like a party selfie. It was as we were leaving. It was the end of the night. We were all looking pretty frumpled and sweaty and gross. But it was a fun shot just in the hallway before we left the party. So I wanted to include that, even though it's also is a very dark and it's also quite a grainy photo. It's just a fun one that I wanted to include in the layout. So I have lots of those embellishments spread around my layout now. And I'm just looking for anything that might have something to do with partying and having fun and being festive and merry and so on. And so that banner up in the top, the black one says cheerful memories. It's misspelled. It says cheerful with 2 L's, but maybe it's misspelled on purpose, like full of cheer. Although that's what the word means anyways, so I don't know why they would misspell it on purpose. I'm just going with it. Layering some of these embellishments so that they're overlapping one another. So the festivities this way is going to be in front of and over top of the blue snowflake. I was just getting my Christmas roller date stamp and looking for a phrase. I'm not going to stamp the date because I already have the date on that giant card that says December 5th. So I just stamped Merry and Bright on that little tab. And I'm just going to use my tiny attacher to attach both the speech bubble and that tab, both at the same time with the same staple, just to keep them in place so that they layer nicely so that neither one covers anything important. And that I'm going to go ahead and put the December 5th down. I'm putting it down so that it extends off the page a tiny little bit so I can cut that off. And then layering the group photo frame just below it so that the word group photo definitely shows, because that's the whole reason I picked that frame. And then layering cheerful memories over top of that. And then I have this word wish that I'm going to layer up here just to bring a little bit more of that black. I have to balance off that top cluster with the bottom one, and the bottom one has that photo which has these big pops of black on it. So just to balance that off, I needed a bit more black up on the top cluster. I shifted the photo down a little bit more than it had originally been when I glued it down, and that's just because I wanted more negative space above it, because I'm thinking I'm probably going to put my title right above it, so I want a bit more space up there, so I shifted it down. And I'm just layering these trees so that they look like they're sort of overlapping. I pop dotted one of them so that it's up off the page a little bit. And then layering that little thing that says cheer time over top of the red snowflake. And then I'm just spreading these gold foiled chipboard stars, and I'm putting one on each of the eyes. So you can't see it because it's down below the frame, but the word bright is dotted with one, the word wish is dotted with one, and then I put one right beside cheer time. So there's 3 of those. Oh, and there's 4. I also put one in the center of the blue snowflake. And now I'm just taking these acrylic stickers by Pink Fresh Studio and spreading them around the layout in 3 different places. In 2 different places. There we go. That's a little bit better. I don't remember exactly what I'm doing right now, but you'll see that I put one of those acrylic stickers up on the cross-stitched snowflake die cut. And that just adds a little bit more interest. Now I have those 7 paper letter stickers, and there's only one of each letter in the alphabet on this set of stickers. So I happened to have enough to spell party, which I was really, really pleased about because I love how this title turned out. I love, love, love it. It couldn't have turned out like, it seems like I planned it that way, but I so didn't. It just kind of, those are the letters that I had. So those are the ones that came in the kit. But they look like they totally belong together. I love how the ugly sweater part is a kind of like a more casual font, and I kind of bounced the baseline so that it goes up and down and is a little bit more casual looking, and then the word party kind of looks a little bit more contemporary and streamlined. Love it. Love, love, love. And so now the letter Y is not, I wish that more of the stem of the Y is showing, so I am going to shift that up before I'm finished with this title here. And there we go. And again, it's hard to, because this background paper is just plain white, and I'm used to working on a pattern paper that usually has some type of a pattern that helps me line things up. I'm just kind of trying to keep things straight, even though I don't have much of a reference. So I really love how that title turned out. It's probably my favorite part of this layout. And I wanted this one to be kind of, because it's about an ugly sweater party, I didn't mind if this layout was more cluttered and distracting and kind of all over the place. It sort of goes with the theme of an ugly sweater party. So I thought if ever I was gonna kind of go overboard on embellishing and just kind of scatter things all over the layout, this was a good time to do it. So I tried to be as generous as I could. I tend to be a little bit conservative with my embellishments, but for me, this is kind of, it's not really overboard. I like it. I think it gives nice balance. I like it. So here are the close-ups. There are some photos to follow. Let me know what you thought of this one. Let me know what you thought of this one compared to the one before it. And leave me a comment because I love to hear from you guys. Take care and have a really great scrappy week.